Hey, good morning, everyone. It is 8:02 on this Thursday, July 7th. I'm Saquon, and we have more breaking news to tell you about today. But before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone who is watching live on our Facebook this morning or listening to us maybe on your way to work or maybe on your drive back home from work through the podcast. So really appreciate that. Let's get on right away to our breaking news story of the day. We do know from Becker County deputies that a man from Bemidji who ran away from his sentencing hearing in the Becker County Courthouse is now back in jail. So he tried running away, but he's now been found and arrested. So we're talking about 25-year-old Alexander Robert. He was arrested again at around 10:30 last night. So deputies are saying that he ran away after being sentenced to 20 months in prison for a separate escape incident which happened in May of last year. So during that one, he cut off his ankle bracelet, which of course monitors him during his supervised release from prison at that time. But we do know Robert will be facing more charges, but we're just trying to figure out what exactly those charges are. We did have our reporter, Jenna Scott, out there live for us this morning, and she kind of dug all the way through his criminal history, which went back all the way to 2015. And so it was interesting because, you know, he had kind of an extensive criminal history, and we got to see all of that laid out. And we also know that Robert's escape, or at least attempted escape, is now actually the third escape in Becker County in the last decade. So this is not the first time something like this has happened, but we'll let you know when we find out what kind of charges he'll be facing on top of that, and you can stay with us on the news later for those updates. We also have an update on a story that we told you about yesterday. We learned 35-year-old David Korn, who escaped a state prison in Bismarck, has also been arrested. He was arrested in Aberdeen, South Dakota yesterday. He was on the run since Tuesday when he escaped that Missouri River Correctional Center. So we're trying to figure out what charges he's going to be facing, but he could possibly be facing federal charges just because he did cross state lines. So we will let you know if that is the case. Also, right now, medical examiners in Ramsey County, Minnesota are trying to figure out how or are looking into this death of a man whose body was found in the Red River in Moorhead. So that body was found at around 12:30 yesterday by children. And this was near the original Homestead Park, about a few blocks away from the police station. It seems like, at least what officers are telling us, that the body was actually in that river for a pretty long time. Investigators think this body is a man based on the items that they found. So we're trying to figure out that person's name and how that person died. Once we figure that out, of course, we'll bring you those updates on WDAY. Also, Minnesota Hero Pay, that probably perked up your ears a little bit, right? So Minnesota Hero Pay, if you're not familiar, which I'm sure most of you are, but I'll say it just really quick for those of you who aren't. It's for the state's frontline pandemic workers who worked kind of during the peak of the pandemic, and Governor Walz decided to roll out this Minnesota Hero Pay, bonus checks, you could even call it, to kind of thank these frontline workers for their work during these hard times. So here's where I share the bad news. Kind of bad news. Maybe you guys will be like, that's not too big of a deal. So, as we've been telling you on First News, it was estimated that 670,000 eligible people would get around $750 each for this Hero Pay. Well, we found out more than 900,000 people have applied since those applications opened last month. So that's about 235,000 people more than expected, right? That could impact how much money you actually get for your Hero Pay checks. So, if it is 900,000 people and they're all eligible, that means each person would get $550. So, of course, we'll figure out if all of those people are even eligible. Who knows? Maybe someone just put in their application just to see if they could score a free payment. But we'll work to get that confirmed for you. Also, if you still want to apply, if maybe this is one of the first times you're hearing about this, you can still apply. You have until the 22nd to do that. All you have to do is go to frontlinepay.mn.gov. All right. Moving on, in Grand Forks, we have another update that involves the Fufeng corn milling plant. Again, this is something that we have really stayed on top of because I know how important this is for people living in Grand Forks. So we did learn that a man living there did file a complaint against the property because he claims that he wasn't given proper notice from the city of Grand Forks on the plan to annex property for that plant, right? So his name is Dennis Cadleck. He's the one filing this complaint with the Northeast Judicial District, and he says that he owns property that lies kind of within that area that's being annexed, and he was not mailed the right or the required notice beforehand. So right now he's seeking an injunction to stop that process on his land, but the city administrator is saying, well, their records show that, you know, the piece of land in question right now, which is on the right-of-way on the center line of Highway 81 or North Washington Street, that actually belongs to the state. So now they're kind of going back and forth. Okay, well, this land does belong to me, but this land actually belongs to the state. So we'll of course let you know what happens, but just wanted to let you know the response from the city on that as well. Also today, lengthy road construction project is going to be kicking off. I know it's another one of those eye rolls, right? Because we know how painful those road construction projects can be, but of course they're to benefit us in the long run. So this is all going to be happening near the Oslo interchange on I-29. There's just going to be some repairs on the road. But that's going to last until early October. So again, lengthy project. They're going to be working down to mile marker 147. So speeds are going to be down to about 65 miles per hour. But then of course, when those crews are out there working on those roads, you might be driving at 40 miles per hour as well. So just make sure you treat that zone as a work zone and just drive it very carefully. Be aware of your surroundings. Okay. We also learned Grand Forks and East Grand Forks pools are getting a lot more visitors lately, or at least at one pool. So East Grand Forks pool saw 300 swimmers each day in the first week. So that is kind of an increase of about 15 people per day when you compare that and stack those numbers to last summer's attendance. Elks Pool in Grand Forks is seeing about 125 swimmers a day, and we did learn that one was on average, about average at least, compared to previous years. Okay, exciting news, donut lovers, Sandy's Donuts lovers, you can get your fix again right now. So if you remember, we did report that Sandy's Donuts was going to be closing for about a week because of their repairs that they needed to make in their kitchens. Well, that was a whole 10-day process, and now it's all done. So Sandy's on 45th Street in Fargo, and then in West Fargo, and then the one downtown is going to reopen, or is already open, excuse me. So you can go get your donut fix there. All right, also something fun for you and your family. Maybe you just want a solo night. You want to go on a date by yourself, and that's totally fine. You can go to the third Moorhead cruise night of the summer. That, of course, you guys probably know what this is, so you probably are like, say, why are you explaining this? Classic cars, right? It's really about people who just love classic cars. There's also going to be food trucks, live music, vendors, of course. That's going to be taking place Moorhead Center Mall 5 to 8:30 tonight, and then that's also going to be on the north side of the building. All of those fun activities and entertainment and such. Cruise nights do take place every single Thursday, or every first Thursday of every month until September. So if you can't make it today, you'll have another chance next month on Thursday. Okay. We also had breaking news out of the United Kingdom. Prime Minister Boris Johnson did announce his resignation as Conservative leader. We learned that through earlier reports there, and yeah, we wanted to let you know about that. We do know that he's going to continue to act as Prime Minister until the fall, and a race is going to be taking place for Conservative leadership this summer. So a new Prime Minister is expected to be in place for the party's conference, which is set in October, or for October. So I wanted to let you know about that. Also today, Derek Chauvin, that former police officer, in Minneapolis, who is convicted in the murder of George Floyd, is going to be now facing a federal judge. So he's basically just going to be sentenced on some federal charges. He pleaded guilty again to charges of violating Floyd's civil rights as part of a plea agreement. Without a plea deal, he could have faced life in prison. Prosecutors are asking for a 25-year prison sentence for Chauvin. And a reminder, he is already serving a 22.5-year sentence in state prison for killing George Floyd. Okay. St. Cloud, Minnesota, there was a shooting that happened there, and 4 people had to go to the hospital because of it. So this happened just a few blocks away from St. Cloud State. If you're familiar with that area, it happened in an alley just before 6 last night. And an argument escalated into this gunfight, as police are saying. A 15-year-old boy and 3 men between the ages of 19 and 21 were shot. They were all taken to the hospital. They are in serious condition, but they're stable. So no arrests made yet in this shooting, but we did learn from police there that there is no danger to the public, or at least no immediate danger. Okay, we're also going back to Brittney Griner, the WNBA star that's been detained in Russia for months. She's going to be continuing her trial today on drug possession charges. So again, she was arrested back in February when they found cannabis in her luggage at an airport in Moscow. So we saw, you know, a bunch of people gathered in Phoenix at a rally last night to kind of bring her home. We heard from Brittney Griner's wife, who really voiced her opinions when it came to frustrations that Brittney Griner might not see justice. So we'll stay on top of that for you as well. Okay, on a lighter note, if you are an Amazon Prime member, there's some good news. If you feel like you maybe just don't want to cook for the night or something, I might have something for you, because Amazon Prime members right now can order food from Grubhub without a delivery fee, which is nice because that stuff really adds up. So this offer is good for 1 year. It's for Grubhub Plus, as long as the delivery order is $12 or more. So after the year is up, Prime members will automatically be charged the $9.99 monthly rate for that service. But it's really neat because you can also use this donation match on Grubhub Plus, which can help charitable organizations. And that actually helped these organizations raise $25 million last year. So wanted to let you know about that for Amazon Prime members. All right, we have Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, 9 to 11, WDAY Xtra, InForum.com. Dom always has really, really great guests on, so you should go check it out, especially if you're a sports junkie just like Dom is. Yeah, that's on from 9 to 11, WDAY Xtra, InForum.com. And on InForum.com, I wanted to let you know that if you do type in InForum.com/subscribe, you can get a membership for $2 a month for your first 3 months, and that is all unlimited access to everything when it comes to news, weather, sports, gosh, our partners. You have access to a lot of things. So if you want to do that, all you have to do is go on InForum.com/subscribe. All right, sounds good, everyone. We will be back here tomorrow morning, 5 to 7. For Friday. Gosh, that went by fast. But of course, we have news 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10 as well. Lots of stories to come on there today. So we hope to see you back here tomorrow morning, and have a good day. Bye.